Jewish Task Force, JTF. My name is Chaim Ben Pesach. This program is dedicated to elevating the souls of Eden Ben Yitzchak and Erwin Block. Newt Gingrich, whom according to the polls is now the front runner for the Republican presidential nomination in 2012, supported Al Sharpton, announced that he was meeting with Al Sharpton, and he did meet with Al Sharpton, and that he was going to have a joint educational project with Al Sharpton. He was going to work on education with Al Sharpton. Who is Al Sharpton? Al Sharpton is a racist and an anti-Semite. Al Sharpton is a hater of whites who held demonstrations outside of Freddy's, a white-owned store in Harlem, in New York City. And the reason he held demonstrations was because he had a campaign to throw all white businessmen out of Harlem. He said, if you're a white businessman, you don't have a right to do business in Harlem. He called the owner of Freddy's a white interloper. And he whipped up crowds demagogically talking about how white interlopers can't be doing business in Harlem, and they had demonstrations and picketed in front of Freddy's. One of the demonstrators, one of the people at Al Sharpton's demonstration, then took a gun, went into Freddy's, murdered 6 employees of Freddy's, murdered 6 people inside that store, none of whom were white, by the way, all of whom were minority employees, and he murdered them in cold blood, and then burned down the store. That is the result of the type of hate-mongering that Al Sharpton has been guilty of. Al Sharpton also incited the Crown Heights pogrom. In 1991, there was a pogrom where for 4 days and 4 nights, black Jew-hating mobs rampaged through the Jewish community in Crown Heights in a pogrom, and the mob stabbed to death a rabbinical student named Yankel Rosenbaum, murdered him in cold blood, stabbed him to death, screaming murder the Jews, kill the Jews, get the Jews. That's what the mob was screaming, and they stabbed Yankel Rosenbaum, an innocent Jewish rabbinical student who had been visiting from Australia. They stabbed him to death. Al Sharpton incited that pogrom. Al Sharpton said that the Jews are diamond dealers and called them all types of stereotypical, vicious, Nazi-like anti-Semitic names. Al Sharpton has also insulted, and in a racist way, many other groups. He said that Greeks are all homos, and I could go on and on. Al Sharpton, of course, is an ally of Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan says that all whites are devils and that Allah is going to exterminate the entire white race. Allah will exterminate the entire white race because there's a spaceship, according to Louis Farrakhan, flying over the earth. This is what Louis Farrakhan literally teaches his followers. There's a spaceship flying over the earth called the Mothership. And the captain of the spaceship is the late and unlamented Elijah Muhammad, who was the founder of the racist and anti-Semitic black Muslims. He's the captain, supposedly, of this spaceship. And it's flying over the United States, according to Farrakhan. And as soon as Allah gives the signal, Allah is going to suck up the entire white race and exterminate all the whiteys, exterminate the entire white race. This is what Farrakhan teaches. Al Sharpton is Louis Farrakhan's defender and ally, speaks at his rallies. By the way, Barack Hussein Obama, the individual who now pollutes the office, the Oval Office, Barack Hussein Obama went to Louis Farrakhan's Million Man March. Barack Hussein Obama attended Farrakhan's marches. So Barack Hussein Obama is also a supporter of Farrakhan. But the disgusting thing here is that Newt Gingrich, who claims to be a Republican and now is even running as a so-called conservative, he supported Al Sharpton. He got together with Al Sharpton. It's not surprising that he supports a lot of Al Sharpton's agenda. I mean, in 1989, he said he was a Rockefeller Republican. He spoke before the Ripon Society. He said he supports affirmative action, which, by the way, affirmative action means anti-white, anti-Semitic, and anti-Asian racial discrimination. It means that you will not get a job. You're going to be discriminated against solely because of your race and because of your ethnicity. If you don't come from one of the ethnic groups that gets preferential treatment with affirmative action, you will be racially discriminated against. That is what affirmative action means. It is racism. It is institutionalized racism against whites, Jews, Asians, and groups that work hard and succeed. And by the way, I want to make clear that we oppose any type of preferential treatment for any group. All groups should get the same treatment and should have the same standards applied to them at all levels. The fact that there is affirmative action or quotas that discriminate against certain groups, that is racism. And Newt Gingrich supports that. Newt Gingrich supports anti-white, anti-Semitic, anti-Asian quotas and racism. He said that he does. He supports affirmative action. And he supports Al Sharpton. He sought to legitimize this demagogic buffoon, this evil, monstrous, racist, and anti-Semite. Newt Gingrich is not a conservative. He's a complete fraud. He's completely dishonest and corrupt. He has no principles. He would be a disastrous president. And we don't have to worry about him being president because if, God forbid, the Republicans are crazy and stupid enough to nominate him, he will lose in a landslide against Barack Hussein Obama. He is so corrupt and has so many skeletons in his closet that the media and the Democrats will make mincemeat out of him every single day if he ever gets the minute he gets the nomination, they're going to go after him. They're going to expose him and go after him. And he has so many skeletons in his closet that it'll be a field day for the media. Every day there'll be a new Gingrich scandal that will be coming out. Every single day. He would lose by a landslide. And so it's essential that Newt Gingrich be defeated in the race for the Republican nomination for president in 2012.